everybody, this is Noreen from Joya Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, please click the subscribe and the little bell, and you'll be notified when I release a new video. Okay, today is Sale-a-bration, yay, which is July 1st through the end of August 2022. I can't show you the inside yet because it's not July and the Stampin' Up! Police will come and arrest me. Anyway, but it's from Sale-a-bration because the new mini catalog is out as well. And if you need either one of these catalogs and don't have a demonstrator, put your email in the comments that you want some catalogs and I'll mail them out for you. So this is a two-piece set. This is when you buy $100, you get the paper and the stamp set, and of course this wonderful world. And let me show you how, because I always like to stamp my things out first just to see how they stamp, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I always do it in black at first just to kind of get a base. But yeah, there's some really interesting ideas going on here. So that is the stamp set. Now for the paper, I always look at the paper, and by the way, I keep them in my little folders so I can keep all my scraps in and I label them. So I'll use my label maker and label these up. I also generally label the stamp sets if they have a die or something. I'll put on there what day they go to. But the Wonderful World DS paper, I like to look and see if there are things I can cut out, or if I'm looking for smaller elements like this, because this is good for something where you have a big, you know, like flower or something you can put over something this busy. This is a little more difficult to use, but that's okay. So here's the front and back of this page. This one, I'm going to take my brother's scan and cut, and I'm going to cut probably this one and this one out. So if you use my the Brother Scan and Cut, you do have to close up any kind of open spot. So I'll have to close up here. I might close up here because I don't want it to go in. So I do have a basic Brother video, and I'll put it in the description of this video, the link, so you can click on it and watch that video if you're kind of thinking about a Brother Scan and Cut. If you're a demonstrator, definitely it would be useful because you get paper like this that you can cut out, and fussy cutting is not my favorite thing, so it's really useful. So here's the front and the back of this one. Love, love, love this color here, the purple. And then here we got some more like wallpaper kind of stuff. I did a card, we have some other DS paper that's current where it was wallpapery, and I used it in a back of a picture frame on one of my cards. Anyway, it looked good. So here's the front and back of this one. Here's another one. This would be just way too connected and detailed for the Brother Scan and Cut. So with this one, I wouldn't work. So here's the front and back of this one. This one's the same thing. I probably could scan and cut that, but I think I'd almost want to take a little tiny circle or square die if it fits and cut them out individually. I think that would look better. This I really like. This is really pretty. And then the last one would be these two, and I could Brother Scan and Cut these as well, and I probably would only do these three here, the three big purple flowers. So anyway, so here's the paper. Now let me show you my cards. So I ended up making 5 cards, and these are 2 of them here. And what I did is I used this DS paper. Now I have a Brother Scan and Cut, and I will put a link in the description of my video where I have a basic tutorial on how to use a Brother Scan and Cut. If you are a demonstrator, which most of my subscribers are, you might want to consider getting one, because this is the perfect piece of paper here to do a scan and cut. Now there are some things that probably won't scan, like this one did not, because the white was just too close and this gray line is just too close. I couldn't see it, but these 3 did. So, but if you don't have a Brother Scan and Cut, you can fussy cut them. They just take longer. And I was able to offset it a little bit. So I've got a little border around my cut. And usually I don't like that, but for this, because the paper's so busy, I did. So I Brother Scan and Cut. Let's start with this one. What I used here is He's All That. There's this one sentiment die that I have used a number of times because it's just like the perfect size. It's not a circle, and it's really a good size to have. And this die set has 1, 2, well, technically 4. I guess you can, no, that's not really big enough for a sentiment, but 4 really good sentiment dies. So this one I pulled out a few times. So, and then this is just a 5.5 by 4.25. And oh, by the way, all my measurements are in the description of the video, so you don't have to sit there and frantically write it down. Also, all the items I used, including like my light board here and all the magnets that I used for the dies, and the folders I used for the paper that keeps all the cuts together, everything is in the description of the video. So I've got the card base in that Orchard Oasis, and then I've got a white and a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then the yellow is that DS paper that from the thing. So it's really, really pretty. And then I put one of the flowers on the bottom, and then this bigger one I dimensioned on top. And then these little embellishments here are the 2021-2023 in color opal rounds. Those are really pretty. And then just a basic inside here. So this was the first one. The second one, what I did is, this is polished pink. Now, it says that this color here is either melon mambo or flirty flamingo, and it's like, no, it's not. That's polished pink. So I used polished pink. It's just a 5.5 by 4.25. I used basic white here underneath the DS paper, the beautiful DS paper from the kit here. And then the thanks is from Amazing Thanks. I use both the outline and the inside of the thanks. And then I put it up on these foam adhesive sheets. These things are great, but what you want to do is you want to cut your paper first. So cut that polished pink first and cut a piece of the sheet the same size, and then peel it off and put it on there, and then die cut. Don't try to do the other way around. You'll drive yourself nuts. But it gives that really nice, better look than just like a dimensional here. So that's what I used there. And then I used pastel pearls for the embellishments, and then just a simple inside. So these are the first two. Here's card number 3. And oh, by the way, we are going to make the last card, so keep watching. And also, I give away the demo cards. If you're a first-time subscriber, like, subscribe, put your email in the comments and say, I would like to win a demo card, because I don't know who's new or not. It's kind of the honor system. But anyway, card number 3 is real red base, 5.5 by 4.25, of course, and basic white underneath. The DS paper here, all the DS paper is from Wonderful World, so I'm not using any kind of other DS paper. Also, I've got gold foil for the edges and the frame, which is from Fabulous Frame. So it's this edging piece right here for the corners, and then that oval frame there. So this was really pretty. Then you need to take a piece of basic white and break out your Stamparatus. And I would use the Stampin' Spots. If you don't have these Stampin' Spots, all the items that I use in all the cards are in the description of my video. These are great. You just need your refill, and you just refill these blank spots. I use my label maker, and I put little labels on so I know what they are. But when I'm doing something like this, I'll take little Post-it notes and I'll mask off the part that I don't want ink. So when I'm doing the flower, I mask off the leaves, and then I'll ink it, and then take the Post-it off and then stamp it, and then vice versa. So you get the two-tone color here. Now you can use Stampin' Right pens, but they just don't look as good. I use these for everything other than doing this. Now, the only time that I do use them when I'm doing my Stamparatus is if I miss a little piece, like if I don't want to get it too close to that flower when I'm doing the leaves and vice versa, and I just can't, get that Post-it note to line up right, I'll take the pen and I'll just fill it in a little bit and then use it. But I won't use it to color the whole thing. It just doesn't look as good. It's a little too saturated, I think. So that's how I use them, as just kind of filler. But go ahead and do your basic white flower, then cut it out in the oval frame here, and you'll have the white piece and then you'll have the gold piece, and they just inlay nice and flat on each other. And then those brass butterfly embellishments, I put one here, which is really cute. And the tag is from Fabulous Frames as well. There's a little tag right here. So this one turned out really pretty. And then what I did on the inside was really cool. I took stylish shapes, just the little circles, and I went ahead and die cut out. This is from the DS paper, the little tiny little flower. So I thought that was really cute inside. So here's card number 3. Here is card number 4. And this is Highland Heather. I was going to try to use Orchard or Oasis, but I didn't buy the refill for my pad yet because it's so new. And I wanted to use my Stampin' Spot because you need to use your Stamparatus when you make this flower. So you're just going to take a piece of basic white, put it on your Stamparatus, and this time, so I went ahead and did a Highland Heather Stampin' Spot, but this time, instead of using Post-it notes, I used the new Stampin' Up masking paper, because in order to get these flowers to kind of go over themselves, you have to stamp the first one and then make a mask. So I took that paper and I stamped it, and then I fussy cut around it and put the mask on. And then I stamped the other one and then did another mask and then did the third one. So you're going to need to mask it. So this paper is brand new in the new mini catalog, or in the new annual catalog, and it's in the description of my video. If you just click on it, in fact, any of the links that you click on will go right to my store. I have a Stampin' Up store and I have an Amazon, because I am an Amazon affiliate. So I'm totally legit. It's safe to click on my links, and that'll get you like my Caterpillar glass. It'll get you the magnets and the folders and everything else. So anyway, but I used the new masking tapes for this, and then I went ahead and cut out a circle and then did a double circle here and lined it. I used the pastel pearls to kind of zhuzh it up, and then the sentiment tag comes from Potted Succulents. I use this one quite a bit too. And just put this up on dimensionals, and then a basic inside, and put a little of that DS paper on the bottom. Also, when you're doing your flower, like I said with before when I was doing the other flower, if you miss spots, okay, even when you're masking, you can fill them in with the Stampin' Rights. And then if you really miss, like there was a little bit of a halo around one of the masks, what I did is I took a blending pen and I got some ink on the blending pen and kind of filled it in, and you can't see it. I also put a very, very, very light layer of Tahitian Tide and a blending brush. Now I didn't mask it because it's so light. So you tap it on scratch paper, go in and just kind of give it a little hue of the blue, just to make it not so white looking. And then this is Highland Heather right here. But it's Highland Heather and Granny Apple Green. And like I said, all the dimensions and everything is in the description of the video. So this is number 4. Here's the 5th card, and I thought this was really pretty, and I did a couple of things that I thought I'd like to show you. So I went ahead and I used Polished Pink, because there's no way that's Flirty Flamingo or Mellow Mambo. I'm sorry, I just kind of disagree with it. So Polished Pink 5.5 by 4 1/4. Inside I put Rich Razzleberry, and this is cut 4 by 5 1/4. And Basic White, which is 3.75 by 5. And then I put a little bit of that extra DS, because you're going to have some when you cut this. And this is 5 by 1/2 inch. So I went ahead and just did the inside really quick. All right, and then on the front, what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of Rich Razzleberry, and this is cut 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'm going to go ahead and snail that up and put it right on the card here. Okay, and then this beautiful DS paper. I mean, this stuff is really, really pretty. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. And go ahead and put that on Simple, simple, simple. Now go ahead and grab your rectangle stitch frames. This is the 5th smallest one, and take a piece of vellum and cut that out. And then that's going to be behind the flower here. And then the sentiment, this one's a little interesting. So this is the 2nd smallest one. And I left the vellum in there because the vellum, this piece is just a little too big for the card, and I cut it down. So I left it in there to show you how I'm going to customize this piece. So don't take it out until you're ready to adjust it. So I cut this piece, and the reason why I don't want you to take it out before you need to do it is because you have to make sure that you've got it going like you didn't take the piece and now you're using it this way, because the dies aren't identical. So there are 2 lines cut in here, and we want to line it up with the inside line. So you shouldn't see it on the outside. And we're going to lift this up and take the smallest little piece off. I mean, tiny. So in fact, you can even just line it up with the edge of the die here. We're just taking off a smidge. And I'm going to line this up and try to get it into the grooves here, and I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and cut it, and if you notice, I've got it taped down. Now this, I swear by my delicate frog tape. I'm sorry, it lasts forever, it's cheap, and there's an Amazon link. If you click on my Amazon link, it magically comes to your door. So it's awesome, and I reuse it and reuse it. In fact, it's better when it's reused. So I made this just a smidge smaller so it can fit into the card a little better. So that's how you customize a cut like this. Now to the flower, and this is the fun part. Now in the new mini catalog, which I can't even show you the inside yet because it's not July 1st yet. So, but in the new mini catalog is this thing, and it's called the Embossing Additions Toolkit. And you get these cool, and I've been using these tweezers. This can hold down your stuff that you can glue. A little brush to wipe off embossing powder, and looky, an embossing buddy. And these things are great. And I've been using a jeweler's thing for years on my embossing powders, and it was this one, but this one has a little pour thingy. So anyway, but I love that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a piece of rich razzleberry, and we're going to use our embossing buddy, and we're going to powder her down here. And then we're going to take our stamp from Wonderful World right here. Also, and I'm sorry I failed to mention, all the greetings that I've used on the cards are from Go To Greetings. I've been using this like crazy. And you know why? Because there are 3 sizes of greetings, and happy birthday is one of them. So happy birthday here, here's the really small one, here's a medium, there's also thank you and thanking you, just a note, and hello. So this is amazing. This is definitely worth getting for sure. So I'm gonna get my Versamark here, and I'm gonna Versamark that flower. Okay, put that here. It looks like that. And then I'm going to take Thinking of You from Go To Greetings, and might as well Versamark that while I got it. And I'm just going to put it away from everything, just like so. Now for my white embossing powder, I'm going to put it on the sentiment here. Make sure that sentiment gets a good coverage because that's a really thin line. And then grab my flower. And if you have any kind of, doohickey hanging on, you can use the brush here and take that off like that. Next, just unscrew the end here and pour your white embossing powder back into the jar. And I always, even on the other one, after I get all the powder inside, I take it and put it into my trash can and hit it on the side just to get everything out. So that's how you use this little tool. Now I've got one of these little tools here for my embossing thing, just like that. I'll put it in the link in the description of my video. So I've got my embossing heat gun here going. I'll try to talk a little louder because this thing is, you know, on. So I'm going to make sure this is all heated and make sure that sentiment is good. Grab it in a different light so you can make sure that you're all melted. So we're all melted, and I can just put this thing right up here, and like I can turn it on and it's hands-free. It's really nice. So I'll put a link in my video for you. So I just cut these two apart because I'm going to take this one and grab those rectangle stitched frames again and take the smallest one here and die cut that out. So now we've got the little sentiment tag. What about the flower? Well, the flower, I used my brother scan and cut. And like I said, I'll put a link in the video description with my basic instructions on how to use a brother scan and cut. I recommend it if you are a demonstrator, you're going to use it. So it's worth investing. If you're, you know, a really strong hobbyist, it might be something as well. And it's very, very different from a Cricut, because I have a Cricut as well. Cricut uses cartridges and images. The brother scan and cut is exactly what it is. It's a scanner. So it scans in this image, and then I told it to offset it by like the smallest setting they have, and this is what came out. I've got that edge, just like those first two cards. I have an edge here, so I use my brother scan and cut. But if you don't have one, then it's fussy cutting. Just, you know, relax and fussy cut it out. But this is the brother. Now the fun part, we get to put it all together. So I went ahead and put 3 dimensionals on the back of my sentiment tag and put it there. And then I put a bunch of dimensionals here. Now I took not only the regular dimensionals, but I also cut in half a mini dimensional and put it on the stems here. And if you notice, I had them upside down on my silicone craft sheet, and I can pick it up because it won't stick to that. So if you got something sticky, put it on here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it straight on to the vellum piece here. And now I'm going to put some snail where the flower is so it doesn't show as much. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it like cockeyed on the card. And then I'm going to take this and snail down the middle and put this below here. And the fun part, I took the glossy dots assortment and I put a dark purple one here and a dark purple one there. And that's it. So here are all my cards, and I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe, and that'll do it for me. Thanks. Bye.